Eat zucchini. I think more icons are starting to see now what we've been saying for a long time. KATSEYE is not really that good at making music. I know, controversial statement. I've seen a bunch of TikTok circulating where people are starting to share the exact same sentiment. People are like, KATSEYE has only like 2, maybe 3 good songs, and that's completely fine. It's just like icons always turn a blind eye because they like these 6 personalities, which just goes to show that the music business is not really about talent, or ironically the music. It's not really about vocal ability or lyrical ability. At the end of the day, if people like you, the music will sell. I like KATSEYE. I have to preface this because the last time I just gave out an unbiased opinion. For whatever reason, people decided still to hate on the video and say, you're hating on our global queens of pop. That's not the case. Let's just have an honest, objective discussion about KATSEYE. People like the personalities more than the music, but how long will that last? Let me explain.
The Big Dipper.
Alright, so the new song came out, Internet Girl. At first I was thinking this song is really bad, but after watching Dream Academy, I know that the head of Hybe, he's no dummy. I'm pretty sure this song is going to go viral because there's a dance challenge that's going to come out with the song, which happens to be the case for a lot of KATSEYE music. The KATSEYE girlies are winning because they always come up with a hit dance to go along with the song. So as I mentioned earlier, at first I thought this song is poop. But then I realized that it was probably marketed with the intention of becoming a meme, or maybe it was just meant to be an internet song as the name suggests and go viral on TikTok. With the lyrics about liking eating zucchini, surely that's the case. At first I was shaking my head. I was disappointed. Then I realized maybe it's a nod to saying suck a dick, as in to respond to the haters or something. I don't know what Hybe and Geffen are doing, but it clearly ruffled people's feathers. If you go to any KATSEYE shorts, you can tell that the audience and the fan base is young, which is not a problem, but whenever you try to have a discussion with these people, they just put their fingers in their ears and don't want to hear it. I once saw a video of them performing on tour, and you can see the people in the front row. You can see exactly what type of fan base these people have garnered. It's not a problem, but the problem, what I've noticed with K-pop fans or pop fans in general, they will stand the person whose music they've come to love simply because they like the person, which works for the artist, right? You can release trash and they'll be like, man, she's just being experimental. You wouldn't get it. You just don't understand. It's a whole different era. People like you, it's not meant for people like you. Maybe it's because I'm older. I always say this, I'm not the target demographic. I'm aware of that, but I can listen to music that's completely out of my realm and I'll still be able to nod my head and be like, yeah, that's a good song. For example, I'm not Rihanna's target demo, but I can still acknowledge that 99% of her discography is a solid 10 out of 10. But when I heard Internet Girl, I was like, yeah, KATSEYE, nah, I really don't know what's going on. And the thing is, you can't blame the girls because I'm pretty sure they don't even write their own music. The label is the one that curates everything. The direction and trajectory of the careers is basically going to be based on what Hybe decides to do for them. And I don't know exactly what era this is. KATSEYE is in a new era every couple of months. There's a time when they were in their Mean Girls era, so now I guess it's a meme era, if we can even call it that. The song isn't even entirely bad, it's just like, why would you release this? It's kind of strange considering these are the people who made Gabriella. So yeah, it's just interesting to see the direction of Hybe. Also, another point that I want to talk about is that I feel like I said it before and I'll say it again. KATSEYE is not the main group that Hybe is trying to push to the forefront. I have a theory. Just hear me out, just hear me out.
Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie?
KATSEYE is the test dummy. I feel like KATSEYE is the guinea pig. They have to be, right? I saw on Samara's Instagram, I see that Hybe is making another global girl group, and they've taken some of the girlies from Dream Academy who made it towards the end, and they've already solidified their spot in this new group that's being formed. So it got me thinking, and I was on some, is this KATSEYE group just an experiment? And then if they flop, Hybe will just make another one and they're going to learn from the mistake of KATSEYE. If you remember from Dream Academy, there was a point in the series where Bang, the chairman of Hybe, said the last time he met trainees face to face was when he put BTS together. Obviously he had to meet these girls because this was just his first global experiment. Maybe that's a stretch, but it could be true. My theory that is, but considering how many groups are under Hybe and how expendable these artists are, it's not out of the realm of possibilities whether you want to hear it or not. That's why Hybe can afford to just put out these lackluster songs with very weak lyrics, and they can just see what the response from the fans is going to be. If people are like they don't like it, they'll just simply release another one. Hybe is a huge record label. They can afford to fumble, but they can only afford to fumble for so long, right? So it's just interesting to see how KATSEYE is moving. Also, another point to note, what's going on with the icons. Like honestly, there's a faction of that fan base that is a little bit way too parasocial, and they really care about each of the members a bit too much. The most extreme fans want to live vicariously through all of these girls, which is kind of dangerous. I'll just see a photo of Manon wearing a bikini on a boat, and the top 10 comments are just little girls simping and glazing. I get it, she's far from ugly, that's not a problem, but it gets to a point where you become a little bit too invasive, a little bit too infatuated. There's a photo that leaked on Twitter a while ago. I can't put it on the screen for obvious reasons. It's of Manon, more specifically Manon with these two white boys and a condom. If I'm not mistaken, she's biting into it viciously. A faction of the fan base is like, oh no, Manon is having. That's not good. You're going to ruin the reputation and image of Hybe, but that was way before she even debuted. I don't even know if she's over the age of 18 in that photo, hence I'm not putting it on screen. A certain section of the fan base was fighting, saying no, she's promoting safe sex. Let her fuck. Okay, they didn't say it like that, but you get what I mean. Then some people will be like, no, she can do whatever she wants, what's wrong with it? Then some people will fight and be like, no, she's our idol, she has to be a good influence or whatever. She shouldn't be taking snaps before having breeding sessions, blah blah blah. And then even with Lara, a lot of the people are now saying she's chopped. Imagine calling Lara ugly. I just don't get it. People uphold these girls to a different level and put them on a pedestal, which inevitably happens when you're famous or when you reach this level of pop star. I get it to a certain extent. Even Lara had to put out a statement and say, guys, stop talking about my body, it's weird, especially considering these guys are all under the age of 25. But either way, you shouldn't be just making very strong statements about another person's body. I always notice how it's always these people with no profile photos on Twitter just saying all sorts of things, or going to the Instagram comment section and being like, yeah, I don't think your body looks good. Some icons think Lara and Manon are odd looking simply cause they have more melanin than them. It's just pretty weird to me. But like I said earlier, a lot of the fan base are really young, so this is just like how young people talk, I guess. I even saw this other photo on Twitter of somebody who took a screenshot of Danny's face during her performances with these crazy facial expressions, and they were trying to roast her for it. But you can take any musician during an interview, a music video, whatever it is, and you can find any angle if you pause the frame at certain points where they're looking kinda crazy, but they're just trying to discredit her and say she's ugly. Some of the icons, they need to see a therapist as well as a shrink in order to learn how to stop projecting, cause their behavior is nothing but diabolical. And it's strange how the fan base is becoming more and more vocal, all because of zucchini. You can't make this shit up.